How's it going, everybody? I messed up the intro because I wanted to mess up the intro. But anyways, welcome back to another episode of the Purified Podcast. My name is Luis Palacios with my co-host, Chris. How's it going, Chris?
It is going very dandy, even though I've been very not productive today.
Not productive? That's not good, bro. That's not good. Today... Well, I can say the same on that one for sure, but that's because, I don't know, a lot of things just comes into your mind that you don't even want to do anything these days, you know? Especially on Sundays and Saturdays, since you have no way of, meeting people or that anymore, so...
Yeah, you're right.
All right, well, today is March 29th, 2020. The end of March is on its way. And we're back again. We talk about more news and stuff in Pokemon Go world. It's been a rough week for sure, but we actually have some interesting news to talk about today. Chris, how excited are you about these new little things?
I gotta say, I'm pretty excited with what's going on right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in Pokemon Go and a lot of people doing stuff in Pokemon Go separately. So I'm pretty happy with what's going on per se.
Yeah, definitely. And just before we start the research topics for today, I'm going to say hi to the chat real quick. We have another Luis Palacios in the chat, another Victor Lopez. Thank you very much for coming by. It's probably not like a biggest stream in the world, but we'll work with it, I guess. So thank you so much for coming by, everybody. We'll just go ahead and go on with our news for today. So today's research is going to include many different things. I could say more, but that's for sure. That we have a lot to talk about. There is just a lot of small little changes to the world once again, and how Niantic is coping with the COVID-19. And then we're also talking about some new things that are going to be happening and some other interesting events and I guess quality of life updates. So that's actually a pretty good thing to talk about. So Chris, can you read the very first line on our research topic?
Yeah, the Lugia special raid weekend has been canceled and Cobalion has been extended until March 31st.
Yeah, so...
Oh my.
So, what we have for that is that, of course, to be able to contemplate that this is a special weekend and they don't want people to go out in groups anytime soon, Lugia has once again been postponed. Now, of course, for a lot of people, they're saying, hey, it's okay, I don't need Lugia for another week or so and all that stuff. So, I mean, I guess it's fine, but for us, at least PvP players, Lugia with Aeroblast would have changed the mechanic of how you see it. Right, Chris?
I don't know how it performs in Ultra League, but I know there's a lot of talk about it in Master League, so as long as it comes before Master League, it may still have some good play.
Well, it's 2 weeks into the actual, 2 more weeks before Ultra League actually becomes gone and the Master League comes around. Excuse me. Yeah. So, I don't know. We never really saw the stats in the game just for the reason that nobody was actually, talking about it until we actually see it, but unfortunately it didn't happen. I was a little bit disappointed just because, it's one of those special moves that you want to see in a Pokemon since the very beginning of release, but 3 years or 2 years into the raid mechanics, Lugia never really got a special move to himself, even though he hasn't in the main series games. However, we did get the shiny, so let's assume that that's enough for now.
It's been given a lot of love for sure.
Yeah.
With, how many times it's been released, but getting that special move, people would be going wild in that thing, man.
Yeah, and do remember that we're gonna be getting Elite TMs once the season 1 ends entirely. Yes. So we'll be able to see how they're favorable. And of course, once the move is actually released, we'll be able to actually use it. So, although I may not be using it on a Lugia that's just good enough for Masters,
no.
I'm going to use it on my good Hondos for sure. So
oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's usually the case, and that's why Lugia has been postponed for now. So, save those race passes because we're going to need them. Alright, so for our next one, we have Landorus brings the ground to the air. Okay, I don't know if that was a good pun or a bad pun.
It's something.
So, Landers will be actually coming on April 1st, April Fools, duh. And then, of course, another one of those legendaries out there that are going to be introduced to our Pokédex, which is actually fine for me, but we'll hopefully we'll see the alternate forms later, and their shinies released at the same time, because I don't think I want to see a non-shiny Landorus again after that, so...
No, Dex and done.
Yeah, Dex and done. So, he's going to be coming, of course, in 5-star race, and of course in the Go Battle League after rank 4. So get out there, do your battles. You're still able to battle as much as possible for sure, but that really is what it is when it comes to legendary Pokemons.
I did remember actually Landorus being a ground type with Earth Power. He does actually have a really good amount of play in Master versus a lot of the meta. Just because he can get to it a lot quicker than Groudon.
Okay.
I do have to take a look at that, though, but I'm pretty sure he shakes up the meta right now.
I think it really is going to depend on the fast charge, fast move that he has. If he gets a good one, if it's not just hidden power or something similar to that, he may be a valuable Pokemon in PvP for that reason.
Yeah, they have him ranked as number 17 out of all of them because he gets Mud Shot, Rock Slide, Earth Power.
Yeah.
So he takes a lot of good matches like Snorlax, Melmetal,
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm pretty excited for him for sure.
And for sure, if you're gonna be using him in any sort of battle, don't bring him to a ice type move battle, because if not, then you are gonna get wrecked right there.
Oh yeah.
Being quadruple, one shot, quadruple weak, just like Swampert with grass is like one piece of leaf, and I guess I'll die. So. So that really is Landorus for you. I'm not really excited, but that depends, because we're gonna see it in Go Battle League, and I'll be doing my battles anytime soon. So that is the second news of the day, of course, with the Panpon. We'll see how it goes from there. All right. So how about Chris? You read the next line for us there.
Okay, we're having a little bit of a quality of life update. The research tab will allow you to see your Pokemon in the gyms and the motivation, and it will see each of the streaks for the day, such as the catch streak and the daily spin streak, and I think that is glorious. That is beautiful.
Yes.
I love it.
So what Craig has mentioned is what's called day-to-days view in Pokemon Go. So this is basically the same mechanic, and I want to say that Niantic took it from what's called the Go Ranger app, and because they see that it's actually a really helpful tool to be able to see him in-game instead of like a third-party game. Today's view is going to feature right where your research will actually be. Before that, I think it used to be raids or something that used to be in the research tab. I can't remember. I think that was another thing. I'm sorry to mention that.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. There's so many things close to each other in there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's gonna feature, as you could probably see in the stream, and if you guys see it in the podcast, you can see it in Pokemon Go Hub or in the Pokemon Go News. Today's tab is going to feature the current events that we're going to have throughout the weekend cycle, and the type of bonuses we're going to have for it. So in one of the examples the Pokemon Go Hub actually gave us, and that's really the one that I have right here on the stream, you'll see that the Valentine's Day event, it ends in 2 days and 0 hours. So they're even giving us the specific time where it's going to end. You're gonna see like the pink Pokemons in 7KX, the double cash candy, the 6-hour lures. So everything that the event bonuses will be on the tab with the time of how long the event is going to be, which is actually great, because a lot of people were actually saying, hey, when can I tell this event starts and ends, and what are we doing and all this stuff. So this is a really, really, really good quality of life update, for the reason that everybody needs to know what's going on in the game, because sometimes, and especially when we have so many events in 1 month, it gets crazy to know what is going to come up and everything. So it like really, really keeps the tracks on everything. And I think, and just like Peppercut said, thank you for joining us on the chat, it's keeping track of events just like they do it on Wizards Unite. So they took a page from that too and then put it onto our own game, which is actually great. Thank you very much, Niantic. And just like Pokemon Go said, or Pokemon Go Hub said, you'll also be able to see Pokemons in the gyms. So what Pokemons you have in the gyms, their motivations, you can click on them and you can actually go to those gyms, feed them, and all of those things, which is actually nice. And your daily streaks, which is the catch and spin. Know which one you're at and which one you have to finish, which actually mine is I need to actually finish my spin stop, which I haven't really gotten out of the house today, so I really got to do that soon.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so events, gyms, streaks, and then whatever's coming, that's really, really great for a quality of life update, and we really needed it. It's something that it was far and beyond something that it should have been actually in the game since the very beginning, but I know that, Niantic had to go through a lot of things to get to that point.
Yeah, I know we've been asking for something like it for a while, so I'm definitely thankful.
Yeah, so it's really welcoming for sure. All right, so another small little miscellaneous news that we have today is the star pieces are finally in the shop as individually things that you can buy in the shop. So no more bundles, no more of the Ultra Box and Adventure Box to get star pieces. Hello, star piece for 100 coins. Thank you very much. We'll finally be able to buy those as much as we wanted to. You can also get a small little bundle of 8 star pieces for 640. It's also a nice little addition, and also I think it's because a lot of people were asking for it since nobody can actually grind Stardust in the last few days, especially because of the quarantine part of the world. So it's also welcoming, and it's going to keep players a little bit interested and, of course, making a little bit more money to Niantic, which actually reminds me something that another podcast mentioned and what Pokemon Go Hub actually mentioned, that the revenue in Pokemon Go is still growing despite all of this delays and lockdowns that we're having because of COVID-19. It's actually still growing. The money is still coming for Niantic, even though we're actually less than motivated to go outside. It says that Pokemon Go player spending has grown 66.7% over the week of March 16, despite the coronavirus shutdowns, being active all across Europe and in parts of the United States. And all of these stats actually happened before the Genesect special research weekend.
And that added to it. Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's great. Niantic is still making the necessary needs and money because of it. I know that San Francisco is on lockdown just like LA, so I think Niantic's offices are closed right now. So everybody's working from home. Everybody's doing the best that they can from their place. Don't give them too much backlash, because at the end of the day, they're still a company that needs to make money. And if we want this game to thrive for the next few years and survive this epidemic or pandemic, we want to make sure that they're still getting some revenue from us, even if it's just $1 per day or $1 per week or something,
I mean, yeah, they've been doing a really good job of making it easy to play from home right now, so I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, definitely. Which will also tie in to our next little news outlet that we have today. Chris, go ahead and read the next line for us there.
One of the things they did to help out everyone that has the 30 incenses and just staying around at home, they have a box bundle for 100 Pokeballs for 1 Pokecoin. That is nothing. You can afford that.
Yes, definitely. So if you play the game well enough and you at least put 1 Pokemon for 10 minutes on a gym, you'll have 1 Pokecoin and you will be able to get 100 Pokeballs through the 1 Pokemon bundle or box bundle. However, they did say that this box is going to rotate between the weeks. So this week is 100 balls. Maybe next week we'll see 100 Great Balls or 50 Great Balls. Either way, a small little help to the people who are mostly on full lockdown in the world. This is a really, really helpful thing. Now, of course, 100 Pokeballs, they may not seem much, especially since the incense are spawning Pokemons every 30 seconds or 15 seconds. By the time you finish one, you have to catch the next one. And then if you don't catch it on the first ball, you're wasting more balls. So I know it may not be a great addition, but at least it's helpful to the people out there. So thank you again, once again, Niantic. I may have called this podcast just "Thank you, Niantic" because everything that they're doing is just this.
They've been pretty good lately.
Yeah,
Except for the lag, they've been really good.
Well, we'll talk about lag when we get to our PvP part of this.
Yeah.
Not good or correct. Anyways, another piece of news that they actually added to make sure that people are actually helpful. Again, thank you, Niantic. So everybody who's listening to this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and create the hashtag thank you, Niantic, because everything that we're doing is everything thank you to them. I probably talked too fast on that one. Anyways, other news that we have is, of course, the 3 times Stardust and 3 times experience for your daily Pokemon bonus catch. So let's say you are getting, thank you, Chris. You're getting your bonuses for the day. If you put a lucky star piece and a lucky egg, you'll get, 4 times or anything more than whatever they give you on those bonuses. So it's actually great because, again, people need the Stardust. And people who are still grinding the levels, they need the levels. Now, you and I are level 40, so it's not that it really pertains to us, but the Stardust is in good addition. Gifts that you can open has been increased to the daily 30, and the gifts that you can carry has been increased to 40. Again, because Niantic is helping us all through this, the gifts that we are sending actually includes Pokeballs. So if you were to open a gift, you get a maximum of 10 Pokeballs. You can get probably up to 5 or to 10, but it's still, it's a nice addition because if you can get out, might as well send gifts, open gifts, and then you'll get your Pokeballs in return. I really haven't run out of Pokeballs after this update or this small little update because every time I open a gift, I'm getting like 10 Pokeballs, 5 Pokeballs, 10 Pokeballs, 3 Pokeballs, or a couple of Grey Balls and Ultra Balls, but still, I really haven't actually ran out that quickly, and I haven't actually grind my Pokeballs in, I want to say 2 weeks at this point.
Yeah, I haven't been grinding too much either for Pokeballs. I mean, on average, you should be getting about 150 Pokeballs just from opening gifts.
Yeah. So usually I'm a firm believer that I need Pokeballs to continue my gameplay, and of course, because of my Pokemon Go Plus, I usually keep it around 300 to 400. So right now I have 465, and that's because of all the gifts that I've been opening. And thank you for everybody to send me gifts.
Oh Lord, I'm jealous.
Well, I need them, and that's because I don't work in a place or live in a place where I can just spin stops every single minute.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful. Thank you, Niantic, once again. Hashtag thank you, Niantic, for everybody. Please put that in anywhere else, Twitter or anywhere that you were gonna tweet out anything. Anyways, Chris, you want to read the next part there?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one because I think it's helping keeping people from wanting to go outside more, and that's that the Shadow Entei from the Rocket Leader has been extended until the end of April. So you'll have another month, so don't try and get out every second of the day to try and find Giovanni. You can take your time with that for when it's safer out.
Yeah, definitely. So it's good that they're extending it for a full month. It kind of sucks because we wanted to see another legendary, which will be Suicune at this point, in the line of legendary dogs or legendary beasts.
And that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, I only need to battle one more team leader, but I usually save it for the reason that I kind of want to just get it done and get the legendary out. So I save what I did, at least in my perspective. I missed one of the legendaries. I didn't do the Zapdos, the Shadow Zapdos research, mostly because I was like, I don't really want to get through it and all that, and I was really busy at the time doing other things. I really wasn't getting out as much, and that wasn't because of COVID-19. It was just something else that I had to do. Either way, I didn't do as much for that day, for that month, and then I was like, okay, I have it ready for the next one, so I can just go ahead and finish it off and be like, I'll just work through the next one through the entire month, and then continuously do that, So every time I have one new month come around, I'll have the research ready to go. I just have to find Giovanni throughout the month, and then get it done, and then I start on the next one, which for me at least is helpful. It kind of sucks that I don't have a shadow, technically like one of the shadow birds, but I don't think I really needed a shadow Zapdos at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it's that necessary to have, like it hits hard, but I feel like there's so many counters for it that it doesn't really do too much even in raids.
Yeah, so I have my Shadow Raikou, Shadow Entei. I purified my Articuno just because I wanted to see how it looked, but then after that I was like, I'm done. Did I get Moltres? I can't remember if I did.
I know I didn't. I'm really sad about it.
Yeah, I did get my Shadow Moltres. So, yeah.
Shadow Sky Attack Moltres. Oh my gosh. That'd be amazing.
That'd be nice. But we'll see. It has frustration on mine. Either way, yeah, so that's what I did. Again, thank you, Niantic. They're extending it for a way to not have to worry about the ability of having to find Giovanni, and mostly because everybody else that's around the world, or at least a good portion of the world, is on lockdown. So they really can expect people to finish up the quest for that reason.
Yeah.
So thank you, Niantic, again. This is another helpful tip. So yeah, this is really a quality of life update podcast, because this is basically what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the day, or at least for the rest of the night. All right, so for our next research topic today, we're going to go ahead and talk about what we are currently having, the Psychic Spectacular event, I think it's called. It's Psychic Spectacular, and we're going to talk about how this response and everything happened throughout the weekend. It was started on March 27 at 8 a.m. local time, and is ending on March 30th on 10 p.m. local time, which is tomorrow for us. All the Psychic Pokemons are increased, so we will see an increase of Bolton, Abra. We're also gonna have new exclusives, not exclusive, but new Pokemons introduced into the game in the form of Solaces and Gatita, which we talked about before. However, excuse me, there was a little bug when the event started, didn't it? Yeah, so when the event started, we were thinking, okay, we're gonna see Solosis for the rest of the day, and then by the nighttime, or when the game turns nighttime, we'll see Gatica. However, when I opened the game that morning, I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna see Solosis. Nope, I saw like 5 or 10 Gatica before I found my first Solosis.
And after that, it was just full force Solosis.
Oh my god! So at somewhere around, I want to say 4 o'clock the afternoon, Solosis was just like out in the masses, or probably before that, because I was at work until then, and then when I opened the game at 4 again, I was like, Solosis this, Solosis that. I'm just like, okay, cool, pine up it, because I really want to actually find a good Solosis. Don't get me wrong, it's actually a pretty cool Pokemon, and I really like Solosis. I love Solosis more than Gatica, but that's because Gatica seems like a big head.
yeah, Gothica looks weird, but I do think it's a good Pokemon.
Yeah, so Solosis, of course, as I was mentioning, it was appearing everywhere, just the whole 9 yards, and people were actually getting concerned because we do also have special research throughout the whole thing, and one of the special researches we have, it's the Catch 5 Natu for Bolton, which is actually our shiny for our event.
Yeah, for the Baltoy.
Yeah, so Baltoy was shiny. It has been a shiny release, and everybody was like, I gotta catch a Baltoy. I need a shiny. Everybody wants a shiny at this point. But no, it was all Solosis. It was Solosis. I think it lasted. I think by the time I got home, it was around 4:40 or 4:45. I can't really remember. It was closer to 5. But at that point, Solosis finally disappeared, and then other Pokemon started appearing. So I was like, what is going on?
Honestly, I think there's more Baltoys spawning than Natu. Like, mostly because of our weather, though.
Yeah, that's true. We do have sunny weather and clear weather for most of the time, so it's not like we're gonna see them that much, and especially if we do have any wind in Florida, we'll finally see some psychic Pokemons. However, that was the case, and it actually brings a different topic that are a small little congestion topic that we are gonna discuss real quick. The spawn pools were kind of mixed up throughout the events. Now, before we get into the Safari Zone quests and spawns, the reason why the spawns are the way they were is because Niantic has like different spawn points throughout, let's say, events and the weather and all that shabam. The reason they want to do that is because a long while ago, I think the spawns were tied to the weather. Now, when the weather mechanic in the game went down at one point, and this was, I think, in the Slack of Community Day, they realized that they were tying in the spawns to all the weather problems in the game. So when the weather disappeared, all the spawns for Slack off and everything else disappeared with it. So everybody was furious, everybody couldn't enjoy the Community Day that they were supposed to, which was, I think, in the Europe region. And then they fixed it before they actually came to the Americans. But that, I think, tell the tale that the Pokemons needed to actually have their own spawn points when an event starts and everything. So we'll have spawn points for the psychic events. We'll have spawn points for the actual weather event or weather stuff. So you'll still see normal Pokemon spawn, but not as much as the other ones because the event is going on right now. And then that also ties into the Safari Zone, which we'll talk about in just a second here. So I think it's great, and all this information is really coming from a reliable source. We talked about it, and we want to make sure that everybody's aware that this is how spawn points work. It's not because they say the weather is bad or because this weather is here. No. If the event happens, you'll get those spawns, but you're still having the other spawns coexist with those kind of spawns. If once the event is over, the spawns will be gone, and then you'll have your regular weather spawns out there.
Yeah, I think it's a smart way to do it for sure.
Correct. So it
doesn't happen again.
Yeah, so it's a good way to balance the game out in the sense that this is basically the events out there. So that's basically spawn points at this point. So we'll talk about what the Safari Zone really had to be with this, actually. So Safari Zone St. Louis was supposed to be this weekend. Again, it was postponed due to the coronavirus. And now we are, the ones that hold on to their tickets were able to have their special spawns in their local area. Which I think a lot of people were actually happy about for the reason that they still have the special research. They still had the special spawns, a new hat Pikachu, and then a regional Pokemon spawning in their own region of the world. Everybody was happy about Lunatone.
Yeah. I was so jealous.
Yeah, so Lunatone, it spawned with the Safari Zone ticket event holders. Everybody's like, it's time. We need to catch this shiny Lunatone. If you don't know, Lunatone is a regional exclusive half of the world Solosis or half the world Equinox kind of thing. So it only spawns in the other side of the world. For us, right now, we only have Solrock, which, because of the psychic event, is spawning quite a bit too.
I'm loving it.
And it's kind of nice. Now, Chris, have you gotten your shiny Solrock?
No. I've been trying really hard, even with my girlfriend, and we have not encountered a shiny one of those yet.
Yeah.
So I may have to trade for one eventually.
Probably. I did get mine a while back in 2019.
Oh, lucky.
I know. I was actually pretty happy about that, and that's mostly because I went out and hunt for a little bit, and all of a sudden I saw the Solrock, clicked on it, it was redder than usual. I was like, okay. If you guys have not seen me on stream, I'm actually holding my hands up, so sorry for everybody who's listening on the podcast there. So yeah, Lunatone was
so beautiful.
Yeah, so everybody wanted to see Lunatone as a shiny, and even the cruise ship actually posted a video earlier today, I think, about how he traveled the world just to get Lunatone shiny once it was released, and he was Germany, he was in Japan, he was in all the Go Fest, all the events, he was trying to catch them all, and then by the time he finally got a shiny Lunatone, it was when he was at home, and he was like, okay, cool, finally got it, he screamed, he made a full video about it, and it was actually pretty fun to read or to watch. If you guys haven't watched it, just go to the cruise ship and you'll see how eventful his journey was for a shiny Lunatone. But the spawns, of course, did happen. Regionals, shinies. A lot of people were actually happy because they were getting a lot of shiny Pokemons. Trainer Tips even did a small little video of their comfort of his home, getting like 4 or 5 different shinies. And then in the special quest for the Safari Zone, you can get lures, incest. You could get like 100 gray balls if you complete a task. And then the last task on it, I think it said you get a shiny, guaranteed shiny Teddiosar.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't that we were not planning to go to San Luis. It's just that as people who have jobs all the time, we don't really have the time to go to every event, which I really wish I could, but that's not just how the world works.
No, logistically, no.
It's like, you're jelly there? You're jelly? Anyways. It wasn't that it wasn't planned, but it's still, it's one of those things that if you were having it, you were having it. And even then, if you were going to go to Safari Zone, if it wasn't postponed, you're still going to see the same spawns just in a different tag, So that is what it is. And I almost choked on my water.
Don't die on me, man.
All right. Let's move on. Go ahead and read the next line there, Chris. While I stop myself.
Please take your time. In the next GPK, they have found a coin quest of sorts. So I'm pretty excited to see how that rolls out. I'm kind of nervous that it's going to be related to hatching. So you're basically going to have to use incubators if you want the coins that day, or you're going to have a certain amount of time to hatch all the eggs, but they may do it in an easier way. I am very curious to see how they implement that.
Yeah, so as Chris was saying, there is a new APK mine actually going out. Now, again, guys, to be able to understand, APK mines are just like small little things that are going to come to Pokemon Go. It may not be fully official release on the next update. It could change, and as we talked about it, and we just want to make sure that all of this is just either speculation or just small little predictions of what we're going to see in the future in Pokemon Go. So the APK mine 0.171.0 has been propagating in Google stores and soon to be in Apple stores, depending on when it will actually be released. It's going to bring a lot of different things once again, and we'll talk about it in the coin section in just a moment. There's a new loading screen, which is actually pretty nice because looks like the screen for spring. You see like Semitoad, Togetic, a lot of bug Pokemons, Cherum, Rouse, Joltik. So we'll see a lot of different Pokemons maybe appear more wildly than usual. So it's actually nice. But all of those Pokemons are really there. We'll probably see like
people. Oh, sorry. A lot of people miss the Crustle in the top right because all you can see is its little pincer. But I just noticed there's a Sudowoodo behind the Crustle too.
Oh yeah.
I did not even notice the Sudowoodo.
Yeah. I just noticed the Sudowoodo too. I was like, whoa. Well, Mystic 7 is happy about that. Oh yeah, and that's also the other Pokemon, right? The little bug rock one.
Sudowoodo should just be, it's just pure rock.
But the Pokemon that's in front of him.
Oh, Crustle?
Yeah,
Crustle.
Yeah, the Crustle little bug claw thing, rock type bug, and I was like, oh, cool. I guess it just really makes sense because it's spring, and spring Pokemon brings more bugs.
Yeah, sadly.
So the update or the APK mine also includes the new tab, so that will be released once it actually comes around. Small little info on the things that are happening there for the new Today's app sections like event name and then time. We all knew that was happening, and that's because of the blog post that Pokemon Go actually come around. Now, the interesting one is the quest update, which really reads daily coin quest. Now, as you guys know, in Wizards Unite, they have a daily coin quest in their own game once you complete a certain amount of tasks. I think you get like 10 coins if you were to complete all of the daily tasks for the day. And then the next day you'll reset, you get another 10 coins. This addition to Pokemon Go may be similar with our research of the day. Maybe if we were to finish certain things like our daily quests or our daily streaks or something similar, we'll probably get a certain amount of coins. Now, how many coins do you say probably? We don't have no idea.
Yeah, there's no way to tell.
Now, the most recent one will be, of course, 10 coins, which is actually a nice addition to the 50 coins that you get if you put a Pokemon in a gym for a certain amount of time. But that makes at least the increase of how many coins you can get daily kind of nice, because 50 you can only do, if you get 50 coins, you can only get, right now, in the shop only an incense, right?
Yeah, that should be about it. Yeah.
But before that, you couldn't do anything with 50 coins. You had to wait for another day of 50, and then get 100, and then you can buy something relatively easy.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wait 2 days just to buy like a raid pass, and I know people want to raid constantly. So
and
that's
for the free-to-play players, people were just like, it's kind of nice that, they do all this grinding, but then you have an event going on, and then you need to do more raids or similar things. Unless you're really grinding for the event specifically, or do you know about this raid specifically, you probably only have at best, 2 or 3 raid passes out there, or depending on how many you have done throughout the month, or maybe 2 months, you'll have enough for a box or a bundle in the shop. So it's not. The grind is there, and I know that free-to-play players are actually like really grindy when it comes down to it. But it's kind of nice that this coin quest, hopefully, will be a nice addition to those free-to-play players.
Dude, even the people that put serious money into the game are going to be happy about that, man.
Yeah, I mean, less money to spend, but either way, us that we actually do spend more money in the game than we should have.
Maybe.
we will, of course, try to do the best we can. This is basically another way of earning the coins that we're going to need for the future event. So it's kind of nice either way. And let me go ahead and catch this Solosis. Anyways.
PvP heavies or no?
I don't know. I still haven't caught it. It's still in the shaking part of it. But yeah, so adding through more things. There's daily, like this thing says can redeem daily quests, quest proto. There's a lot of different things in the APK that actually just tells you that this quest is on its way. And let's check the ABs on this real quick. No. Okay. Quest warning, and then we have other things like Go Battle League. Looks like there's going to be a process. If you lose certain amount of Go Battle League battles in a row, it's a possibility that it will let you actually continue playing until you get a win. So let's say you have a restriction of 25 battles per day. Let's say by some miracle you lose all 24 or all 25. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, the game is letting me play through more until I win. So it's not really necessary that you have to lose through everything. Now, again, this is just a speculation. If you lose all your battles and then you can keep on battling until you actually get a win, that means that you can grind the game as much as possible. Now, I don't know if this is going to count through all 25 battles that you get daily, or just 5 of them, and then, instead of paying for more or working for more once the requirements are back, you'll have to, you can battle as many as you time until you win or something similar, so.
I mean, personally, my guess would be that it would be every set of 5. So if you go like 0 out of 5, they'll let you win 1 and get that Stardust. But yeah, it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell how it is, and even Pokemon Go Hub says, it looks like if you lose all battles in a set, you'll play at least until you win 1. So that looks like to be the most incredible place of it,
Yeah.
Other things to improving, they have a lot of improvements to the Team Go Rocket battles and the Command Hub and Command Director. I'm really not going to get to the specifics just because, again, this is all just speculation at this point when it comes down to it. And it is what it is. There's also looks like to be new customs incoming. There is a Kanto 2020 non-evolved Pokemon, a Johto 2020 non-evolved, a Hoenn 2020, and a Sinnoh 2020. So all of these are non-evolution, so I'm guessing that we're going to see more party hats or something similar to those coming into the game soon. I don't know how I feel about it. I just don't really like those kind of type events anymore. How about you, Chris?
Like the costume events?
Yeah.
I I like them, but at the same time, I kind of prefer to just keep the same costume so people recognize me when they see me.
Yeah, definitely. And it includes all regions that have been fully released in the game, so we'll probably see like some kind of event that includes all of them, but that's gonna be a grind at its own. We'll see. We'll see because March is ending. Maybe, and hopefully not, as this podcast is being released. We'll see the dump of events we'll see for April, combining with, of course, the COVID-19 part of it. We'll probably see another dump of news coming in the next few days. So maybe not in this podcast, but in the next podcast, we'll see how we're gonna see those things. We'll have transfer improvements for buddy notifications and then recent notifications like Lucky Egg and Incest. We'll see how it goes for those. It looks like just maybe that we'll see Community Day for Abra come back sooner than we think. Because there is code for the Cash, the Evolve, and the Extra Evolve for Abra and Kadabra. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see an extra or a Community Day at home, which at this point I see it happening more likely. What do you think about that, Chris?
I mean, I can't see how they'd put in the quests other than like just randomly giving you them throughout the day, like without you spinning anything, you know? Like if you have a quest slot, they just give you one.
Well,
like I can't understand how that would work.
Well, you have to think that since everything's still happening in the world, they have to adjust for at least that type of moment. Now, this month, even though we had so many events, so many news, so many things to play, like trust me, we were actually overwhelmed with so much that we had to do. Everything in this month came to a halt the moment COVID-19 started propaganda out there. I don't know what's the right word for this, of course, but guys, Niantic had to adapt, and it's still adapting to the game right now for that reason. Maybe Community Day was supposed to be a thing. Maybe they really had to, of course, stop all of the cool events that we were having, and they said, okay, let's reassess everything that we have right now. Let's think back on how to help the players. And again, hashtag thank you Niantic for everything that they're doing. I just think that Community Day Abra should happen in some way, shape, or form throughout next month or throughout the next few days. I don't know. We'll see how it happens when it comes around, guys. Even Chris, you know, it may happen. At this point, it's actually more likely that it may happen that way, you know?
Yeah, I'm not, I would be sad if it happened, you know, with just a whole bunch of spawns around us, like what we already see, and then getting them incense spawns.
Yeah, so it's nice. There's also a special little quest for Natu. I think it was mostly for these, for the psychic event, but this is for a further update, so I'm guessing that there's something going on with Natu going on. We'll see how it goes when it comes around, of course. Again, all the speculation at this point. Safari Zone batches were added, which, as you guys know, Safari Zone San Luis, what's actually happening now. Everybody who had their tickets get their badge. All of the Philadelphia ones are added will be added to the game soon. So when May comes around, we'll get our badges and we'll be able to play at home once it comes out.
At least we got that going on for.
Yeah, and kind of nice because in all reality, I do like my badge collection after getting to go to GoFest. The one GoFest one was like a prized possession for me. I know everybody has like 14 badges and all that stuff because they went to all the events, but even having one of those special badges in your profile just feels like the world changed, you know? So
it's a nice way to remember it for sure.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a little picture, that's still really cool to see.
Yeah, so which reminds me, when GoFest happened, I think there was a special gyms badges that we got from them. We couldn't really.
I wasn't able to get those, but I do remember you flexing them when they were testing how much they could.
How much bandwidth they can do that. Yeah, it's actually kind of nice. I don't know if I can find it right now. I'll find it eventually.
Yeah.
But that was actually kind of nice when to have those badges that nobody else could get unless you were at GoFest itself, or at least on the last day of GoFest, you know. Some other technical stuff. Looks like Apple sign-in is gonna get released in this soon, which is actually helpful because even though we have Facebook sign-in and Google sign-in, I think Apple sign-in is actually also gonna be really helpful for the players that don't want to lose their accounts that easily.
Yeah.
Gift sending status, downtime warnings. Guessing the downtime is planning for future events or future Go Battle Leagues updates. Full screen handling. I'm not sure what that means. There's a log for it. Size log. I have no idea too either.
Just know they have it.
Yeah, there's no they have it. Dun dun dun. Hey, hello, whoever is there. I really can spell your name there in the chat, so sorry about that. In conclusion, we have minor updates to the game, big updates coming. Again, all the speculation at this point and see how they're actually going to be implemented. Maybe we'll see a dump of news coming, I don't know, in the next hours or maybe tomorrow after the spectacular event ends. We don't know, but I'm excited for the next week. Hopefully next month it comes with more things to do because I'm actually getting a little bit sad this last few days.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's alright, but that's how it is. We'll get through it. I just know we will.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess the one in the chat says that his name in English is Ice Cream Fox. Hello, how's it going, Ice Cream Fox? Thank you very much for joining us for our stream podcast. All right, so Chris, are you ready for the next segment?
Dude, when am I not ready for this segment?
So,
oh my gosh.
Get good or get wrecked. Our PvTP topics for today are going to include the following news, of course. First of all, we have the Go Battle League walk-in requirements will return on April 15 of 2020. Guys, it's been almost 30 days since the requirements were fully out. Like, we didn't have to walk, we could do all our sets. We were all happy about it, and we were like, cool. We can play the game as intended without having to do too much because of this whole pandemic that's going on. However, the game must go on, and April 15 looks like it's going to be the case. Recently, the United States president actually said that the social distancing should actually implement until the end of April, and that's happened probably a couple hours ago. I don't know if Niantic is gonna technically do the same thing when it comes down to it, but right now that's the announcements we have. April 15. It's time to go back to walking, guys. It's time to get those legs moving because we're gonna have to go back to doing our sets after we walk 3 kilometers.
Yeah, I'm hoping they extend it, man. But you never know.
You never know. However, there still is also a little part for it. Do you need a mask? I'm actually good. Thank you so much. There is some things that they're still also implementing. The friendship battle requirements, since they were lowered to good friends, will return to ultra friends on May 1st. So basically, the entire month of April, we're still going to be able to battle people remotely. As soon as that it's over, I'm guessing that's happy. That's a little bit of a relief for people like the Silk Arena, the World Tournament, and all of the things that they're trying to plan over there. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's nice to see when it comes down to it. So, Go Battle League walking requirements in May 1st. Chris, how about you talked about your little tournament that happened just recently?
Little tournament. Ooh. So, those of you who don't know, Pokemon Go Stadium held a world tournament. They called it Battle for the World, and they wanted to get the best of the best to compete. So they had 3 different phases, and they split it up based on region. So there were about 4 tournaments per region with the max that you could fit in there, 128 each. So each round in phase 1, they weeded it down to the top players there, everyone who got a 4 out of 7 win rate. And then I actually was able to make it to the phase 2 and
Nice.
proceeded my butt kicked. Oh my gosh. But oh my gosh, I made some horrible decisions there. I'm kicking myself over it, but it was very fun, and you could tell that the players you were fighting were very, very good in Phase 2.
Wow.
But I'm interested to see how Phase 3 ends up, because there's a lot of very popular names in there.
That's good. That's actually great. I mean, even getting through one round through those, it's actually pretty nice because it feels like you're a little more important when it comes to the next few rounds. The stream's still going on right now, right?
The third phase hasn't happened yet. There was also another fight I did today that is still going on. I'm actually watching it right now.
Okay.
And it's called I believe it's just called the Elite Four Challenge, and it's hosted by King.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I heard about that too.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun because the Elite Four, I think they're doing like specific type gyms and leaders and all that. So you only get like one set of Pokemons. It's cool.
I mean, what I like about it is they don't have any mythicals or regionals.
Oh.
Not regionals, legendaries.
Ah, okay.
So you can only use like open meta with no Reggie steals or anything to worry about. And I had a really solid team.
Okay.
But then I had the worst lead I could have had against Valor Ash. And let me tell you, the last thing you want is a bad lead against Valor Ash.
Oh, God,
oh my gosh, I got demolished, man.
Oh, no.
I was so sad. But something I can say that's really good is one of my pals, Steve Fishy, is actually in the third round against House Star. And I think he has a really good chance again.
Oh.
So I'm excited for that.
I don't know. My heart just burns when I heard the Isler Bash was one of your matches, and I'm just like, oh.
It was amazing. I loved fighting him, but it was a massacre.
In all retrospect for it, you're happy that we were able to play one of the top battlists out there, right?
Oh yeah. It was definitely a really fun experience, and I'm really happy because they're donating a lot of the money to the COVID-19 research.
Okay.
So I think it was for a good cause.
Hey, they're doing the best they can with what they have, even if through finding who's the best player out there. They gotta do what they gotta do. Thank you so much to anybody who's been involved in the Elite Four participation. But at the same time, man, just getting to battle through it. Like even if I ever get paired with somebody like King or Al or Ash or even the top elite player in the world, I'm just like, whoo.
Even losing, man, if you can make it close, it makes you feel so good about yourself.
I know, right? Like let's say you lose by 1 HP charge move or something, and I'm just like, oh my god, you can't be mad. You're not gonna be mad. You had to try your best, But I gotta say, congratulations for round 2. So bad about that, but I can't really be mad when you battle Ash.
No, it was a fun experience.
Yeah.
I do still have regionals to look forward to for Self, but I don't really know how they're going to do that.
Yeah, so I think that Self Arena announced that the regionals openings are up, so you guys can actually register for it. However, I still don't know, and I don't have all the information for it and how they're going to implement going to the regionals. I think they're still, since technically regionals are throughout the entire month of April, right?
Yes.
So because the requirements for the good friends requirements for battles are still applicable until May 1st, it's a possibility that they're gonna do remote battles from now on.
Yeah, I'm just curious how they're gonna get you to talk to your opponent, and the regionals have to start fairly early, I would assume.
Yeah.
Unless it's going to be like a quote-unquote live tournament that gets held for like 2 hours or so. Because there's going to be a good amount of people in them. I don't know. It's very strange to me.
Well, we'll see when it comes around to it. I'm sure that Stilt Arena is planning the way that they're doing things. And I'm sure every host regional place that they are doing something specific for it. I know that at least the Tampa one, the one that we have in our area specifically, they're doing a specific Discord server for regionals. So if you were to say, if you go to the Tampa one instead of the Orlando one in Florida, then you'll be able to communicate with them as long as you send the invite or email them or something similar about it. So
I might end up doing that just for making it easy for myself. Oh my gosh.
yeah. So I think that's going to be the case. And again, the requirements are still lower until May 1st. That's the entire month of April, and that's going to be really helpful for the Silph Arena. And I think that's what, I think when they talked to Niantic, that's the reason why they wanted to put it that way. I mean, Go Battle League, you can do it anywhere you want to, so that's why the requirements are being only extended until April 15. So yeah, I think that's going to be the case, and we'll probably see more news about it in the coming days since March is basically over. But Chris, it's been a long month for sure, right?
It's almost over though.
It's almost over, but it's been an interesting month. From a hype of super incredible, stressful news and updates and events and everything that we have to downplay, literally halting everything that we had for the last few weeks. It's been an interesting month. Hopefully next month it's going to be even more interesting on how they're going to cope with all of this.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, we're still playing out there, guys. We're still being trainers. We're still catching Pokemons, and we're still battling out there. So don't get discouraged because 1 month really was not the best in the world. We still have the entire year ahead of us.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
keep a good attitude. Keep playing.
Yeah, keep playing. We'll see how it goes. But trainers, thank you so much. This is everything that we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I know that I didn't say almost Ice Cream Fox in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us in the last few minutes. If you like it, of course, subscribe to the channel. Paper Cut, once again, thank you for joining us and giving us a small little hints of what's going on in the world. Chris, I do want to thank you once again, of course, for joining us for today's podcast.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I love being here.
And then, guys, if you want to, of course, make sure that you connect with us, email us at thepurifiedpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a text or voice message at 941-417-9243. Now, I do realize this is actually a United States phone number. So even if I were to get from other countries, if you're going to send a message, you can send it through WhatsApp. And then I'll be fine with that too.
That works.
Yeah, that works because at least WhatsApp is an international thing, so you don't actually have to call me or anything. But I'll make sure that the WhatsApp is actually linked to the phone number, so that way you guys around the world who's listening can actually, contact us. That way we are still able to. And if you guys were to email us or even voice message, we'll feature in the podcast. So it will be nice and neat to talk about the things that you have been experiencing in the last few months or in the last few days. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Chris, once again, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. And then anybody who's listening to our podcast, make sure you follow us and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and any other podcast sites out there that we'll mention and, of course, tweet about. You can find me at Pure Let It Go. Chris, where can they find you once again?
My Twitter is going to be the best place. At Christo, ChrisTO0517. Don't forget to tweet out thank you Niantic today.
Correct. And thank you so much, Niantic. #thank you Niantic. And I'll say that, of course, in my next tweet. So thank you guys for everybody for listening, and we'll see you guys in that next one. Thank you so much.